see here. How are all of you? See if Facebook is going to gather me an audience. Let's see who we have on here today. Hello. How are you? Let me do this so I can say hello to all of you. I'm just going to put some hearts there. And who do we have on? Hello, how are you, Tony? How are you? How are all of you guys doing? I am not logged in on either of these devices right now, my laptop or any of these devices. So I'm just gonna kind of wing it from here. Can you all hear me? Okay, if you can hear me, go ahead and post in the comments below, yes, we can hear you. And that'll help me better help you. Hey guys, how are you? Let's see, who do we have on here? Hey Paul, how are all of you today? I'm gonna just make a quick little camera adjustment like so, and I'm just gonna say hello one more time to all of you like this real quick, and hopefully Roger will not bark. Yay. Okay, we're gonna point it down a little bit. I hate not being able to interact with you like I usually interact with you, and the reason is I'm trying to log in on my other devices and am unable to do so. So I thought I would log in right here. So I was, in a state the other day of watching some YouTube videos, and that's not something I usually do. And how many of you can, relate to like catching on to a series on YouTube and really getting into it? Anyone? Okay, well, this particular series was about these women who had escaped from this, I think it was a polygamous family that's on the edge of Arizona and Utah or something. It's really, I guess this famous polygamous is in prison, and I don't know what sucked me into that, but one video led to another and it led to another, and I was really enamored how these women had escaped this type of conditioning, right? This type of mindset that they had to listen to this gentlemen that had ruled over so many of them and their mothers and their sisters and their aunts for so long. And I was just like, wow, this is intense. And it kind of sucked me in. I watched 3 episodes, and I don't watch episodes of anything, right? So what was happening was, one would escape, and then they would come back for another one. And a lot of times, some of them wouldn't escape. They'd choose to stay under the rulership of this person that was no longer in power. The guy was off in jail somewhere. And I was watching this and I was really like, wow. So those women that are staying, they're really blocking themselves from receiving. This receiving card happens to be front and center on my table right now. And so I thought about, things that have taken place in my own life and how I have risen above them. And I thought I would share a few tips with all of you. But I have to say, I was really impressed with the strength of some of these women I was witnessing go through this. And it, again, 3rd time, it takes a lot to get me sucked into anything anyone else is doing. I'm very hyper-focused, always have been, on my immediate family and loved ones, and then on my own creations. But this series of videos, I don't even recall what it was even called. I think it was it might have been called Escape from Polygamy. I have no idea. But I was watching this, and I didn't even look up what polygamy meant. I was like, is that a lot of wives? Is that a lot of different partners? Is that polyamory? What's the difference here? And I was, doing all these searches. they had been brainwashed into thinking that they had to stay in this certain place and be under the rulership of this person. And like I said, this person was off in jail somewhere. So I was watching this, and I was watching the difference in the women that were under this rulership as opposed to the women who had escaped. And the women who had escaped had a sense of freedom about them that was so incredibly magical, you know? It was like all-encompassing freedom of, what do you guys, can you guys hear me okay? Just, thumbs up this video and tell me in the comments where you're tuning in from. I almost forgot that. So post in the comments below where you are tuning in from, and tell me, you know, if you like this video by hitting the thumbs up. You can even share. So I thought about this, and I thought about, you know, just the glow and the aura these women who had escaped from this person's rulership had about them, and how incredibly magical and mystical, and just how they had taken on really a persona of being themselves, some of them for the first time in their lives, because they had always been in this rulership. Let me make sure you can, thank you. Hello in Cleveland, Ohio. Let me just make sure we've got this going correctly. Emoji. Okay, so I was watching this and I thought, wow, that's really amazing. And the freedom that they feel. And I was kind of tying it into what we are going in on, you know, what's going on around us here. So this morning, I went for a run along the beach, and I dropped little Lewis off to get groomed. And, you know, they have the beach fenced off, but there were all of these people going to surf, and they were, I don't know if the beaches are opened up. They were kind of walking around this fence. I don't know what was going on. And I thought, wow, they're breaking out of their conditioning. And there were a lot of people that were walking around masked, and there were a lot of people that weren't walking around masked. And, you know, my philosophy may be different than your philosophy. I was just, sorry, I'm getting so comfortable here. I was just like, you know, thinking to myself, they're out in fresh air with the ocean blowing upon them. The mask is just like, it's just, you know, putting it all in and not allowing any to come, you know, it's like, it's just letting them recirculate their own, you know, stuff. And, you know, no one was in 6 feet of each other or 20 feet of each other. There was lots of open air space. And so I was watching people break out of this conditioning, and today on my beach run, and I was running without a mask because I was running and I don't want to wear a mask when I run. And when I dropped Lewis off at the groomers, I hesitated and I knocked on the screen door first. She does it in like almost a little house in Carlsbad. And I said, do I need to put a mask on to come in? And she said, no, Andrea, come on in. And, you know, I believe that this is very real, what's going on with this coronavirus. But after watching that series, and after seeing a real split mindset today, I thought I would share with you just some tips on how to rise above anything, because I feel like a lot of us feel like we are under something or someone or the boot of authority, and that is okay. You know, that's okay. We need authority. Why do we need authority? Because what is it called? Martial law or something would be hell. I mean, if everybody, you know, stood out on their front lawn protecting their families with a shotgun, I don't think that would be good, right? We need authority. We need people in authority, but sometimes authority can be abused. And when authority is abused, we need to have the power to speak up about how to rise above. And I was talking to this amazing SEO guy of mine in New York yesterday, and I kept reiterating something, and he said, Andrea, the first thing to get something to not happen over and over again is to not repeat it. So I want to say that's my first tip, you know, stop repeating negative things, because when we repeat negative things, that is giving the universe energy and power to suppress us, right? So if we say, you know, well, for example, I'm going to take a walk and just keep social distancing in mind, but you know, my mask is at home or something. That's, you know, kind of positive. You can smell the flowers, etc. You just have to keep social distancing in mind. And then, you know, stop repeating negative things. A lot of people are going through an economic crisis right now. Well, let's not say that. Let's say, you know, money flows to me. Money is fluid. It flows in, it flows out. The more I spend, the more I make, right? So that's, you know, buying yourself fresh flowers like I did today. That's a way of telling myself how abundant I am, that I can actually afford fresh cut flowers every week is a beautiful thing. So another thing that you can do to rise above is you can wake up every morning, and before you even get out of bed, you can say something very positive to yourself. You know, just say it out loud. So this morning I woke up and said, I'm going to drop Lewis off at the groomer and I'm going to go for a run with Roger. And it is going to make me feel incredible, and I'm going to have the best sweat ever. And I'm going to benefit even more from the sweat because I'm not doing it in my infrared sun. I'm doing it outside in the sunlight and getting vitamin D at the same time. That was really positive. It was really, and it also set the tone for my day. Like I knew I was going to take this run. I knew that I was going to get that fresh air. I knew that all this was going to happen. Let me read that comment. Let me read your comment real quick. And thank you for hitting the like button, you guys. So let me see. Yes, that's true. We have to be creative. It's about getting away from traditional ways of making a living and being creative, using our God-given talents, using our hands. If you're a woodworker, start woodworking, start making art, start making furniture. If you are a singer, start using your voice. I mean, look what I did 2 years ago. I'm a Pisces with a Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising, Cancer in the 4th house, Pisces Venus, Scorpio North Node, Cancer Saturn placement. I've got a lot of water in my chart, which water are the 3 most intuitive elements. I started a business in, it's called the Detox Intuitive. I have a second YouTube channel, and it blew up really quickly. And the reason it blew up really quickly is because I was using my creativity and my God-given talent. So I agree with you. Whoever said that, thumbs up if you agree. It's time to use your creative talent. So one thing about rising above is, and this is another really good lesson, is no one in history who has ever risen above and who is very well known and who is a legend, who is famous, no one ever suffered, or none of them ever escaped suffering in some way. So one of my favorite artists, and it's not for her actual paintings, it's for her quotes, is Georgia O'Keeffe. And she grew up on a dairy farm, and then she moved to New York, and her husband actually discovered her art. It was shown to him, and I forget his name, Edward or Edgar or something. And she made these beautiful paintings of flowers and things, but in art school in New York, they told her that, you know, she shouldn't, they're too abstract, she was blowing the color out too much, etc. Where her husband saw the beauty in her art. He saw her vision, he saw what she wanted to create, and he stood by her side, and she ended up moving to New Mexico and being one of the greatest artists ever. But one thing she said is, in life, she was terrified her whole entire life, but it never held her back from doing anything. And that's the way I feel. You know, I have had fear-based thinking in my life. I grew up, you know, we didn't have money growing up. I was raised by a single mom with 2 older sisters, and, you know, it was not like we were handed things on a silver platter. We all got jobs when we turned 15 years old. We all worked at the same mall at the same time. And I had a job at a men's clothing store for 4 years, and my sister at a shoe store, my other sister at a makeup counter, and we used to like eat lunch together. So I know, you know, I haven't had things handed to me. And one thing I love about, you know, rising above is without suffering. You know, it doesn't have to be a lot of suffering, but without a little bit of suffering, no one rises to the top. No one does. We must suffer a little bit in order to rise. Why? Because that's the way we learn. So I've had something happen over the past several years that has caused me to get really protective of my work and really learn how to protect my online presence, because I was attacked and attacked and attacked from so many different angles. But the more I have risen above that, the more I was like, wow, I didn't know I could put software in the back of all my social media to make sure I was the only one logging in. Wow, I didn't know I could put that software back there and monitor that. Wow, I didn't know that I can use that to see through VPNs. And so I've learned so much. It's been such a learning experience for me. I've risen above, right? So we are able to rise above by means of suffering. And I am not a fan of suffering. Look, no one likes to suffer less than I do. I will run from suffering, but I can say that some of my biggest gifts when I've really had a match lit under my ass were after I went through a time of suffering. I was like, oh, okay, I'm this big hot air balloon rising and someone was trying to pull me down. I'm going to take that and now do this, this, and this, right? So we have to really look at forms of suffering as a way to rise above. Now, another means, I'm so sorry, hang on. I don't want this to start beeping. And thank you for all the hearts, you guys. Thank you for sharing this video. Thank you for continuing to like the video and comment and tell me where you're tuning in from. Another thing is complaining, right? So what one of my biggest lessons was, well, I'll just go for the biggest lesson first. So beyond complaining, boundary setting. So one way to rise above anything is to set proper boundaries from day one. So one of my biggest karmic lessons in life was not setting proper boundaries, right? So people will often come to help you, but very few will be helping you to help you from a place of just an open heart wanting to help. Usually there's some type of kind of hidden agenda where they expect something in return. Well, being the person that I am, Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising, if someone just shows up to help me, hey, they're there to help me. Unless they specify what they want in return, I'm just going to say thank you very much and accept the help and go on my merry way, right? Handshake, whatever. And what that caused was a lot of, you know, throughout my life, a lot of men in particular, men will do this for women. They'll help them. They'll help them in their business. They'll help them in specific ways or help them with a tech issue. And what a lot of women don't know in business is you've got to put really healthy boundaries up. Like, thank you for helping me. I appreciate it. Here's your money, you know, be gone. Because if you don't pay people, who are helping you, if you don't set proper boundaries, they might, you know, get the wrong idea. So you have to be very careful. So healthy boundary setting. Also, setting up like NDAs and things in business before you start working with someone, that's very important too. Another thing, and this has been something that has been very easy for me, and I don't think it's as easy for other people, or at least working with clients, I find that a lot of clients tell me that it's not easy for them, both in health and in the readings I do. A lot of clients focus on their past, or they focus what other people are doing. So as an empath and as a triple water sign, Pisces sun, Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising, I can tell you that empaths are a magnet for ankle biters and social climbers, and it's very hard to detach from energy that has attached itself to you. So I'm going to give you a perfect example of this. My friend Alyssa Cohen, you guys know Alyssa Cohen, I did her podcast. She sent me this message this morning. She goes, I had this dream about you and you were 7 feet tall and you were naked looking through my window and you had all these little, she said, men attached to you and they were like just hanging. And I was like, huh? She's like, yeah, I had that dream last night. And so I was like, wow, yeah, interesting. Yeah, okay. And so there are empaths and there are people that will attach, right? And there are like public speakers and people who really put themselves out there, and there are people who will attach. And if you don't know how to detach other people's energy, those particular people can be really focused on you, and you can feel yourself almost being, it's almost like a puppeteer master, like the further you go, like they're pulling your energy back, right? So that's someone who actually attaches their energy to you. They're called energy vampires, succubus, energy vampires. So you really want to learn how to focus solely on, you know, your friends, your family, your loved ones, your animals, of course, your children, but then to detach from looking at what anyone else is doing, especially creatively. I never look at what other people are doing. I have favorite readers that I'll watch on YouTube, and I also have favorite vegan YouTubers I'll watch, but it's always to, like, if I'm bored with my recipes and I want to make a new one or something like that, or I want to listen to someone else read my sign for that month. So, you know, detach from what everybody else is doing. That's very important. And if you find yourself in a situation with a succubus or someone who wants to pull your energy back towards them, someone who doesn't know how to properly detach from you, then you need to energetically do cord cuttings on your own. And I can help you through that if you go to the detoxintuitive.com, click on spiritual gifts and offerings. I have cord cutting sessions that I run all the time via FaceTime, via Skype, and I use my singing bowls as part of that. Now, another thing, and this is huge, and this is how you rise above, is take amazing care of your health. So you get one body in this lifetime, one body. I have taken stellar care of my body. My body comes first and foremost. I have a delivery, my apologies. First and foremost, all the time. Every morning I get up and I move my body, I get in my sauna, I cleanse my colon, etc. When we don't put our body first, we open ourselves up to negative energies like succubus energies, right? People who attach themselves to us. I just want to get a sea of your comments real quick. Oh yeah, we still have people on. Thank you so much, you guys. And keep telling me where you're tuning in from. Okay. So when you open yourself up to these kind of energies that can attach to you, it's when you're not taking proper care of your body. So this is what, like on AndreaCox.com with all my detox programs and things, this is what I've taught you for years. Your issues live in your tissues. So you really must cleanse your body on a cellular level. Take stellar care of it. Don't be eating dead, decomposing meat and animal products. Really be food combining and juicing every day and drinking adequate amounts of water. I usually drink 4 of these a day. And really tune into your body, get yoga, get body movement, etc. Because when we don't do that, we line ourselves up to not be properly aligned with who we are energetically. And that's when those negative, less than, energies can start to kind of pull us back and attach to us. It's that succubus, that energy vampire energy. So another way to rise above is to take stellar care of your health. Last but not least, develop a real positivity about other people. So people you love, people in your immediate surroundings, people are going to make mistakes, people are going to let you down, it happens. But if you honor, like right now, I'm really honoring the team I'm working with. I'm really honoring, excuse me, one second. I'm so sorry. Come here. Come here. It's okay. It's okay. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Come on. Come on. Come on. You're okay. Come on. Thank you. Good boy. Sorry. So a lot of times when we praise people that work for us, I learned this from my sister that has a lot of people that work for her. When we treat them well, they'll in turn treat us well and be there for us. So really value the people around you. Develop a really good rapport with people. You know, thank people when they do a good job. Pay people. Take care of the people in your surroundings. That's important. And when you see someone improving, let them know that they are improving. Don't just, you know, stand there with your critical rule of thumb and this isn't done and this isn't done and pointing the finger maybe because you've perfected something and someone else hasn't. Very big lesson for all of us to remember. And I'll tell you what, when that one thing switches, the people around you will switch. I've learned that over the years, and I really value the people that are with me now, helping me. I went through a really bad hacking situation, unfortunately from someone from my past, and the cleanup has been, at first it was a really devastating thing because I lost a lot of my work and it took a lot of my time. But now it's really beautiful. It's really driven me to get the protection in place that I need that I never felt I needed before. So it was a learning experience. And so the team I'm working with, I really value them. I value their knowledge. I value my security team. I value who they are. I value what they're doing. I value the protection they're providing me. I value, you know, the people that work for me. So really, that is a very important. And then last but not least, apologize when you make a mistake. That's how you rise above. The one who yields in love is the one who wins. The one who yields in an argument is the one who wins. The one who can admit, you know what, I made a mistake. That is the one who always comes out on top and rises above. So that's been a huge lesson for me. Gosh, you guys, I'm so grateful for this. I hope you liked, did you like this video? Because I said I was gonna do, you guys named it last week, last Monday. You said call it Majestic Mondays. I'm gonna call it Majestic Magical Mondays. So I hope this video helped you. If it gets enough likes and shares, I will do more videos like this on Monday. You can join me tomorrow at 3:33 for Tasty Tuesdays. I'll make something healthy, something vegan for you, something from the herbs out of my herb garden. And I love each and every one of you. And I've got something really special planned next week. I'll just keep that under wraps and I'll put it out in my newsletter. If you would like to sign up for my newsletter, it is AndreaCox.com. I'll put the link in the description box here. If you would like to subscribe to my 2 YouTube channels for health and detox and over 600 raw vegan recipes, Andrea Cox TV, and for my spiritual channel, The Detox Intuitive. Have a beautiful day, and I get to go pick up Lewis now. Little Lewis got his hair cut. I'll be sure and share him on Instagram. Bye, be well, bye. You were so good, Roger. Roger Dodger. Okay. How do I...